Today I'm reviewing the Westone Audio MACH 70 in-ear monitors. These are designed for professional musicians and enthusiast audiophiles. Let's get it. What's cracking, audio fans? It's David here from Prime Audio Reviews. So the MACH 70 here comes in this massive box. I don't know what, well, I kind of know why the box is so big, because you get this inside. It's enormous. You get this Pelican case and it's huge. Oh my goodness, look at that. So it's like double the size, triple the size of the one you get with the Pro AM X10 and those other ones, and it's like double the size of the Mach 60. So the more you pay, the bigger Pelican box you get, as well as more drivers you get. I'm just rambling at this point, but I don't see the point. We don't really need a big ass box like that, but some might disagree. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Let's have a look at the IEMs. Bam. If you've seen any of the MACH series before, you won't be surprised by the appearance, because, yeah, the shells from the 10 all the way up to the 80, they're all the same, which is not necessarily a bad thing. They are very comfortable. They're really well built. They're nice and durable, although they are acrylic. But we should try to keep in mind during this review that these, like I said, are designed for primarily professional musicians, like live performances and things like that. But of course, audiophiles can appreciate the high quality audio as well. Now, as per usual, the MACH 70 comes with the excellent Linum Ultrabax cable with the proprietary Westone T2 connectors, which look similar to MMCX, but in my opinion are far superior. The cable is a very high quality cable, but it doesn't look very nice, does it? And it doesn't handle all that well, but you know, out of the box, it's a great cable. So I guess if you are a musician, this is perfect for you. But lucky me, I have this cable from DD Hi-Fi. I forget the model name, but I'll throw it up on the screen. And this is what I've been using with my MACH 70. Now, back to the IEMs. So, yeah, they are super comfortable. Well, they're not the most comfortable IEMs I've ever worn or used. I feel the rear edge does come into contact with my anti-tragus from time to time, and I need to do some readjusting. But for the most part, they are very comfortable, and they also offer pretty good passive noise isolation, which is important, of course, if you are a musician doing a live performance. Now, I've reviewed a couple of other models, the MACH 60, and I believe it was the MACH 40, from the MACH range, that is. And yeah, so now we're on to the 70, and let's dig right in. Let's just dive into how these sound. First of all, I'll say these are reasonably easy to drive. They are, however, very sensitive. Sorry, my phone's just buzzing in the background. They are very sensitive IEMs, so you have to be somewhat careful with your audio source. Most modern sources are okay, but if there's any background noise or noise floor, audible noise floor from your audio source, you'll definitely hear it with these, because they are quite sensitive. Now, in terms of tonality, the MACH 70 offers a more musical and full-bodied sound compared to the other ones in the MACH series, at least the ones that I've tested. They've got the key Westone audio traits like spaciousness, crisp resolution, accurate timbre, but it presents them with a warmer or smoother touch. Let's have a look at that graph here, and there it is, and you can see, whoa, for an all-BA IM, that's some pretty impressive looking bass. And indeed, the bass is full body, that's quite forward, with slightly rounded notes, but despite the meatier presentation of the bass, the BA driver, single BA driver for the bass, by the way, it's very nimble and it's very controlled. The sub bass extension is surprisingly good for a balanced armature. The low sub bass notes, they can be clearly heard. They don't really rumble. They're not going to shake your skull with ultimate authority, but you do hear those tones. Now, this particular model, the 70, Westone describes the bass being ideal for drummers, bass players, electric guitarists, keyboardists, and audiophiles who crave or need a bit more bass. And I completely agree with that. The other models in the series, like the 60, for example, they're really well suited for vocal and mid-range monitoring, but the Mach 70 is the better one if you're monitoring bass. Or, of course, if you are just an audiophile and you crave a deeper, richer bass. Mid-range, the mids they're quite forward. Despite having more bass, the mids are still forward, and they're not as transparent as some of the more reference models because they have that little added saturation and richness. However, as usual, Westone has crafted a gorgeous mid-range. It sounds natural. It sounds very accurate in terms of timbre. Super natural and organic though. Vocals are nice and upfront. They've got good density, and it's all enhanced by excellent mid-range resolution and excellent instrument spacing. I can't be certain, but I'm guessing that probably the peaks at around 3 kilohertz and 5 kilohertz. That's what lifts the vocals, but there's a strategically placed dip in between at around 4 kilohertz to prevent that range from becoming aggressive or nasally. And despite the extra saturation in the lower mids due to the added bass, the detail in the mids is outstanding, but it's a little bit silkier than something like, for example, the Mach 60. Now for the treble, the treble is just exquisite, really. Westone has nailed it again. The treble timbre, it's got the highs are lifelike. They're remarkably accurate. Every subtlety is unveiled in the music, and the treble, it kind of just soars effortlessly into this beautifully airy and transparent space. For me, there's absolutely no trace of sharpness or harshness in the highs, just these beautiful, crisp, precise treble notes that effortlessly rise above the bass and the mid-range, all while maintaining a perfect tonal balance. And when I say the treble rises above the bass and mid-range, I don't mean in terms of quantity. I just mean they are separated and distinctly separate. And I suppose for music professionals, you will be particularly interested in the soundstage and the technicalities, and the technical performance here is simply outstanding. Sure, there are some diminishing returns as you go up the scale in IEM price, that's for sure. But in this case, you are getting more quality for those extra dollars. And what I mean by that, the overall resolution of the Mach 70 is just outstanding. It's kind of like watching, if you've ever compared a 4K video on a really good 4K display compared to like a 1080p video. The difference is just like the difference in the contrast, the sharpness, the colors. That's what it's like listening to this compared to cheaper IEMs. And when it comes to soundstage, it's expansive, it's quite large. The separation between individual instruments and vocals, it's clear as day with pure blackness in between. In addition to that, the imaging and the placement are extremely accurate. The soundstage favors width slightly over depth, but it's still pretty expansive in all directions. It just pulls everything apart like an exploded diagram, but yet at the same time, it keeps the sound cohesive and natural, like it's all blended together perfectly. And it's elements like that, in my opinion, is where the higher price of this kind of IEM truly pay dividends. And, you know, that plus the accuracy of the timbre and the tonality, which you sort of have to hear to believe. All right, let's do a bit of comparison now. And I'm going to bring in the Mach 60. And as you can see, yeah, they are the same shells, aren't they? So the Mac 60 here is a bit cheaper. It comes in at $1,099 compared to, what was it? $1,399 US dollars, that is, for the Mac 70. By the way, I forgot to mention, oh my goodness. Right now, if you go to the official Westone Audio website, they have a 40% sale on all the Mac IEMs until, I think it's until the end of December. So until the 31st of December, 40% discount. That is pretty awesome. Jump on that if you're interested in these. So back to the comparison now. Look, the Mac 60 is a more neutral and transparent IEM compared to the Mac 70. Like the Mac 70 is a little bit slightly colored, more musical, whereas the Mac 60 is very reference. It's like extremely uncolored. So I would say if you're an audio engineer, for example, and you're doing mixing, then these would be the perfect choice for you. In addition to that, if you just want to save like literally a few $100, and if you don't need to monitor bass specifically, if you're monitoring vocals or just mid-range in general, then the Mac 60 is still an excellent choice, super accurate. But if you need a bit more bass in the mix, the Mac 70 is the way to go. And if you're an audiophile and you just want something that's really super engaging, a little bit more musical, then the Mac 70, in my opinion, is worth the extra cost over the Mac 60. However, I am still a super fan of the Mac 60. It is a gorgeous IM. And besides the, besides the other Westone models, if you're shopping around this price point, there's also things like the Spirit Torino Twin Beryllium, which is an amazing IEM if you really want that added bass impact of a dynamic driver. That is a fantastic alternative. But, the Mac 70, oh man, honestly, I absolutely love these. They are fabulous. I can listen to these. I just get absolutely lost in the music when I listen to these. So whether you are a professional musician or you're just someone who appreciates music, you're an audiophile, you got, admittedly a lot of dollars to spend on some IEMs, then I highly recommend these. They are awesome. Having said that, I'm going to wrap it up. So thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up, and I would also appreciate it if you have not yet hit that subscribe button. Hit it now. That would be super awesome. And until next time, I'll see you later.